It's time for Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark. But not from the channel called Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark. Because this Scary Story We Tell in the Dark is brought to you by a different channel. And we're telling a scary story in the dark. That means we're recording here, fellas. So, please grab a drink and set your stink. The building I live in has rules. Sometimes they're written, but not always. Such as, if you see the crazy pink elephant rabbit being standing at the front of the entrance, you ignore it and you go out the door. Do not try to talk to it, and you will be fine. If you talk to it, you will not be fine. There's other rules, such as do not lock the door before midnight. There's only no key to get inside. The other rule is always make sure the door is closed firmly. It stops the things from getting in. If you hear it laughing, ignore it. It'll go away. If you see men in business suits moving around in any of the unoccupied units, do not disturb them. If you see a ghost, you may talk to it, but be careful. Some of them are not nice. If you see a demon, you may talk to it, but it may also eat you. Or it may not. It really depends on if you're the most powerful chamber of those. If the thing seems more scared of you than you are of it, then in its reality, you are an eldritch monster. Stay away from it. If you are more scared of it than it is of you, then in your reality, it is an eldritch monster. And you should stay away from it. If you seem to be best friends with whatever is scaring all of the other things away, then you are both eldritch monsters in the realities you are both in. And things stay away from you. The great thing about this place is there's not many people living here, so there's not a lot of people to break the rules of the building, you know. If you put too much people in the building, I almost feel like the rules would lose their place and have to move to another building, and the containment would find itself nest with somebody. In order to keep, buildings with abnormal rules in them contained, we need to have people in there and following the rules. When you're following rules, rules are observed, and observed rules become detectable rules in this madness. Living in a world where rules can be observed and observed in their unabsurdity, the absurdity of rules that we rule. I live in a building with rules, and you must follow the rules, such as one about the darkness. Be wary of the darkness. If you make the darkness, you are safe. But if darkness suddenly appears before you when there should not have been darkness, you may not be safe. If you must be in the darkness, make sure that you are efficiently psychotic. Mages, sorcerers, reality benders, and others tend to have the ability to survive the darkness. People who suffer from reality disorders, they tend to always find themselves observed by the darkness. It's good to have somebody who can chase away actual demons and ghosts in the event when onion catastrophe. People don't understand really what an onion catastrophe is. They'll figure it out eventually. Like K-class events and the SCP kind of thing. The thing about the SCP Foundation is that they were always under this belief that they could create normalcy, and you can't create normalcy. It's not something you can create. It's something that's either there or not there. Like, if you want normalcy, you go to a world where there is normalcy. If you don't want normalcy, you go to a world where there's no normalcy. Now, point it out clear, people who live in the SCP universe, they don't want normalcy. If they wanted normalcy, they would live in a world with normalcy. Me, I'm looking for a world where you can just catch monsters and battle them against monsters. That'd be a great world. One of the other rules is, if you see an interdimensional traveler of the reluctant type, give that guy some food. And some hospitality. That guy needs a hug, give him a hug. Unless it's the guy who's a complete psychotic killer, like, no, stay away from that guy. He will stab you. It's not fun. You don't want to be stabbed. Nobody wants to be stabbed, right? So stay away from the guy who do the stabbing. One of the other things is, if you see one of the black agents putting something funny in the drinks, don't drink the drinks. That being said, if you see somebody putting something funny in a drink, don't drink the drink. Don't trust anybody's squirt bottles. If somebody brings a squirt bottle, don't drink from the squirt bottle. Bring your own squirt bottle. The other rule is, there is no abnormalcy that cannot be dealt with a little bit of reasoning. If you see something abnormal, you have two options. Question it or don't question it. A lot of the times, it's best to not question the abnormal. When you see something strange that is out of the normal, you don't question it. Unless you really, really want to know and understand that object of abnormalcy, you should probably just ignore it. If you see a strange blinking light in the sky that shouldn't be there, be careful about when you ponder too much about it, because when you look at that strange, glimmering, dancing light that seems to attract your eyes more and more, it is because it has observed you and you have made contact. When you make contact with a being, your mind will connect to that being. So be careful of what meaningful contact you give to the beings around you. Do not look the rabbit in the eye. It doesn't like it. The building I live in has rules. You must follow those rules. Because if you don't follow the rules don't like to be broken. And it can get scary. First it starts with screaming. Then it starts with the scratching. And then the whistling that never ends. Magnetic kill hazards. Paralytic sounds. The men in the strange government suits. We had a new neighbor for a little bit. She didn't make it. She didn't like the rules. She didn't believe in the rules. And, well, when you don't follow the rules in one of these kind of places, it can end badly. We don't know what happened to her. I still hear her. It's like she's in the walls now. Anyways, I'm living in one of those rural places. It's actually been kind of nice. I met this psychotic demon clown. You know, I always thought I was asexual, but it turns out I'm asexual for demonic, psychotic, evil clowns from the other dimension. Just not Pennywise. That's a child who needs hugging. Give that child a hug. They're scared. They've been lost in eternity forever. Truth is, if you're not a clown, that's just a memory the happiest memory they ever held on to. Going to the circus. Eternity. I created so much. Anyways, I might tell you guys more next week. Might not. This has been Tales We Tell Each Other in the Dark. Separate from Tales We Tell in the Dark, which is another channel, which you should totally go listen to if you haven't already, which you probably are. Good night.